Confident, confident, confident. I can be confident, 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 confident. I can be confident at work.
Hello and welcome to the Confident at Work podcast. I'm your host and your confidence coach, Anna Manning. And today I am having one of those days where you keep trying to get around to things, but then you actually just end up tapping around on the internet, wasting a load of bloody time. Anyway, a lot later than I thought, I am getting to record this podcast for you. So I was on holiday for the last 2 weeks and my brain is slowly readjusting back to life in the not fast lane, medium lane, driving lane, whatever it is. I don't live life in the fast lane, it has to be said. Today, I'm thinking about making a to-be list before you make your to-do list. So you probably start your day with a to-do if you're vaguely organized. Probably have some sort of to-do list which is running your day. But I'm going to suggest that you flip that script and before you think about what you have to do, think about who you want to be while you are doing. You've heard that cheesy quote, you're a human being, not a human doing. But, it's kind of true, right? What this helps you to do is clarify the mindset, the energy, the way you want to show up to something, how you want to be in your day, which is especially good if you're facing pressure, difficulty, tough situations, tough management stuff, whatever. Then it's especially important to think about who and how you want to be, as well as what it is you're going to do. So during the depths of COVID, I had this thing called the 8 a.m. club. And on Mondays, because not everyone was working at home. Obviously, a lot of people were still working in real life, but a lot of people did translate to home working, and I was one of them. And I had this thing on Monday mornings, 8 a.m. We used to come together for 30 minutes. We used to focus on a little topic, and then we would do a bit of reflection, like an exercise, some chat. And then sometimes, depending on what the topic was, we would have a challenge for the next week. We did this idea of a to-be list before we get to a to-do list. And I got everybody in the group, shout out to anyone who used to come to the 8 a.m. club. I loved that group, to think about this to-be list. And I got them to think about, okay, who do you want to be this week? Like, how do you want to do things? And they were really varied. Some people said strong or bold. Some people said fun, playful, light. And they instinctively knew who they wanted to be that week. The spirit, the energy they wanted to bring to the things that they were doing. They knew the way in which they wanted to do things. And simply by thinking about it and actually making a decision, they reported back the next week that they indeed had done things more boldly or more courageously or more playfully. When they kept that to be in their mind and on their list ahead of their to do, it actually worked. And it actually will work for you too. And there's a lot of reasons why I think it is a good idea to try this, not least of which it's dead easy. But there's 3 really that I thought of. And the first is that the stuff that you have to do, results that are achieved, measures which are met, outcomes which are generated by people, by you. And how you show up affects everything that you do. Every task that you complete is impacted by how you show up to it. And the second reason is, like, you're not a robot. So you may treat your workday like that, right? You may tick off a to-do list, decide on a load of things that need to be done. But you could do that and still feel, let's say, scattered or stressed or disconnected. And you may be paying very little attention to that. So we think about being productive and churning things out like as if we're a fucking computer or a robot. And we're so not. We're just like these lovely soft robots that have emotions all the time and then try and act like we're computers, and we're just so not. So, whilst, yes, you may have stuff to do, you may have measures, you may have, projects that you want to move forward, you may have clients that are demanding stuff from you. Yes, there are things that you need to do. But before that, you are a person. And it's worth paying some attention to that before we think about what this person is going to do. And the third thing is that being intentional about these things is a good idea, because the reality is that if you're not, the gloves are off. If you don't decide, how am I going to show up and who am I going to be, you may get lucky. You may be feeling great that week and you may show up to everything with like some pizzazz and some energy or whatever. Great. Or you may be having a really shit week. You may be tired. You may be annoyed. You may be frustrated. You may be having an argument with your partner. It may be the, wrong fucking star sign for you. I don't know. In those moments, if you're not actually intentional, whatever is coming out of this lovely, soft robot that you are is going to impact everything you're doing. But when you have a bit of intention, when you put a bit of intention behind it and you say, no, this is how I would like to show up this week. All right, we don't have to get it perfect, but this is how I intend to go about my week. If I say I'm going to be bold, that intention is going to infuse everything that you do. And simply because you had the intention and you made the decision, it's a lot more likely that you're going to take some more bold action, even when you're scared or you don't particularly want to do it because you've put intention behind it and you've made a decision. So if you're with me and you're like, yeah, but Anna, how am I actually going to do this? It's dead easy. Before you do any to do, just think about your to be. And I'm going to recommend that you just use one word. And that might be a quality, a mindset, the kind of presence that you want to bring, the person that you want to be while you're doing the things that you're going to do, while you're taking action. How are you going to be? Who are you going to be? And it may be that you're just like, today or this week, I will be what? And see what comes out. Because whatever comes out will probably be the right thing. And I am being drawn to this word bold. So obviously, this is mine. I had not thought about this ahead of time. But this week, or maybe even this month, if you like to do things in bigger blocks, or maybe even today, if you want to pull it all the way back, you will be bold. You will be focused. You will be calm. You will be strong. You will be committed. What is it that you will be as you do the things that you need to do? And you may tailor this to the hour. You may be going into a meeting and thinking, okay, this is what I need to do here. But it may be that actually it'd be really useful for you to decide before you know what you're doing, who you will be. If it's a really tough one, you might say, I will be calm, grounding, anchoring, present. Just examples. It may be that you just decide for a particular conversation. It may be that you think, I will be curious, interested. I don't know. It may be that you decide for the whole day. Maybe that you decide for the whole week. Maybe that you decide for the whole month. Hell, it may even be that you decide for the whole year. Tonight, Matthew, I will be. Do you remember that? Well, you probably, if you don't live in the UK, you won't remember, but we had this awful, was it awful? Answers on a Postcard, awful program called Stars in Their Eyes. And people had to come out and pretend to be like Cher or whoever. And they were really good at doing impersonations and they would sing a song. And they would say, tonight, Matthew, because Matthew was the presenter, I'm going to be. And then they would be Cher. So if you want to think of it like that, you could be like, today, Matthew, I'm going to be bold, playful, committed, curious, whatever is going to help you. So if you're going to do it just once a day, I recommend that you write it somewhere. Make a decision, write it down. Maybe pair it with your to-do list, and then you'll look at it as you look at your to-do list throughout the day. Use it like a compass. The chances are, if you've set it, you're probably going to use it as a compass. You're probably going to let it guide the things that you do. It will be there in your unconscious in the background. And if you are tempted in the moment to be dragged away from your intention, so if my intention is to be bold and I find myself shrinking, I'm going to notice. I'm going to notice that I said I was going to be bold because my unconscious has become aware of it and it's going to bring it to my attention. So I'll be like, big deep breath, bold it is. And that's going to help me stay on track. Not with what I'm doing, but with who I'm being or how I'm being. And you might be like, yeah, but Anna, this is a confidence podcast. And what has this actually got to do with confidence? But it has everything to do with confidence because it has to do with how you're showing up at work. And anything that shifts you into being intentional is going to help you with all of that foundational work that we do around confident at work. And if you haven't already taken the confidence assessment, go to the show notes, hit the link, take the confidence assessment. It's going to help you figure out what habits you need to adopt day to day in order to be more confident at work and which ones you need to ditch. So let's say I choose the word trust. I want to trust myself this week. That is a great intention and it's going to be aligned with the work that you might be doing to reduce the amount of self-doubt which erodes your confidence. Another thing that you might choose to be this week is realistic. Again, we talk about how having realistic standards is one of the things that allows you to be in a high confidence cycle. So being intentional about being realistic is going to help support you feeling confident at work. You might choose encouraging. One of our other pillars of high confidence is to give yourself fair feedback, notice your achievements, give yourself some praise. It's also to speak respectfully to yourself, and all of that could be encompassed in you being really encouraging. So imagine if you could blend who you're going to be with the things that you're trying to work on in terms of how you're growing and building your confidence. I think that is a great idea. And I'm going to recommend that you try it and see what happens. Again, if you haven't taken that confidence assessment, go to the show notes, take it. It will take you a few minutes and it'll tell you whether or not you're in a high or a low confidence cycle. And you'll get some personalized stuff in your inbox to tell you how you can start building your confidence at work right away. You can wrap it together with this episode and you will be off to the races. So, next working day that you have, try this. Before you do your to-do list, ask, who do I need to be today? Write a quality down. Keep it visible. That, my friends, is it. That is your to-be list. One word, but a whole lot of intention to help you through your working day and or your working week. All right, I will see you in next week's episode. And if you want to come and work with me one-on-one, there are two ways that you can do that now. The first is with private coaching. So when we do private coaching, me and you are going to sit down together and we're going to figure out exactly where your confidence is keeping you stuck at work right now. Then we're going to set you a goal. We're going to make a target for you, how confident you'd like to be at work, what you will have changed when you've got there. And then we're going to work week in, week out, and I'm going to support you week in, week out until you reach that target, until you are trusting yourself instead of doubting yourself, until you are speaking up when and where you want to, until you're responding to challenges confidently, until you are having all of the conversations that you need and want to have with your direct reports, until you're standing up and presenting or giving people training and feeling good about it and feeling confident about it. Head to the link in the show notes, hit the button and book a call to chat it through with me. I will tell you if I think I can help you, and I'll tell you if I think I can't too. The second way is within the Confident at Work membership. This is for female professionals who want to feel more confident at work. And we have group coaching, we have training, we have a private podcast, we have an online learning library. All the details for that are in the show notes too. So if you want to come and work closer with me, you will be very welcome. All right, I'll see you in next week's episode. Bye.
Confident, confident, confident. I can be confident, 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 confident. I can be confident at work.